become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Bragging hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thanks for taking time out of your business day to join us for ours.
We are so excited to bring you our next guest, Genesis Hay Crick, a life empowerment strategist, certified as a life and career coach, holds an undergrad in marketing. She's published 2 books. Number 1, Unleash Your Potential, which reveals success strategies for strategic planning and goal setting, and also her book, Shine On, which is a 60-day devotional helping women to discover their worth in Christ. She's most passionate about helping moms try to balance their everyday life between the busyness of caring for a household and running their business. Genesis Hay Crick, welcome to Experience Pros.
Thank you so much for having me today. What a privilege.
Genesis, the privilege is ours. Let's start with your area of expertise, your specialty. Where do you land in? How do you describe yourself?
Well, I am a busy working mother, so I understand a lot of the frustrations that women go through that are trying to build a business, maintain a household, and just set goals, do things that they need to do on a daily basis. So I can really empathize with a lot of the things that they have to go through to manage every single area of their life. It can get to be very challenging, very frustrating. So I really focus a lot on working with mommypreneurs, women that are trying to build their businesses, but spend time with the family, do the things that they absolutely are most passionate about, experience interests and hobbies and things that they're just absolutely in love with on a daily basis. And it's really important to be able to have that life balance, right? And today, I just feel like we are more busy than we've ever been, with all of the things coming at us with regard to social media, all of the emails we're trying to answer, the things that we have our kids involved in, so we are just we are running on a thin thread trying to manage every single area of our life. So my role as a coach is to help all of my clients get really clear on prioritizing the most important things and helping them to identify how they can have the most productive day in every single area of their life.
I think it's fictitious, Genesis. There's no such thing. I'm intrigued because I know as a mom, a working mom myself, trying to find all of that and finding balance
for a long time.
And it is magic. Can you give me an example, just a story of a client that was this typical mom, and after working with you, how her life changed?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really cool about coaching, as both of you probably know because you've worked with a lot of different coaches and spoken with them, but everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own way of sharing their gift with the world. So it's neat. Every time that you're working with a new client, it's a brand new experience. So it's one of those things where you don't know anything about what you're getting into in terms of working with a new client. You start working with them and it just opens up a world of opportunities because they start to share their story. And I think one of the most profound situations was working with one of my clients where she has 3 young kids and she's trying to build a business. She's developing a clothing line and she's doing everything that she can to make this happen. She's been just constantly putting herself out there, but of course she prioritizes her kids. So we've gone back and forth in so many different dynamics, talking about how she can overcome the obstacles that she's met with daily. And so I would say probably the biggest obstacles that we've been able to overcome would be specifically dealing with those challenges that she's having the most hard time with. So, for example, her daily schedule has been very challenging in terms of like getting up at a certain time. So what we've done is been able to manage time more effectively for her based on the things that she can get rid of. So, for example, spending time on Facebook. A lot of people spend too much time doing that, whether it is Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, all of those social media networks. The time that she is spending on it, we're focusing on how can she leverage that time rather than just seeing what other people are up to.
Genesis,
so it's
at any point does it come up, maybe we just medicate the kids? I mean, does that ever come up? I mean, if she's having a hard time getting up in the mornings, just a little bit of extra ibuprofen or
Benadryl.
Benadryl, right? That's what I'm thinking.
No, we've never.
Tempting. No.
Just asking.
It is funny when we start trying to put it all together, and this is the value of having a coach and being accountable, because we think that we are too busy and we can't get it all done. And all of a sudden we start looking at all the things that are distracting us. And it is a priorities, and it is possible. I mean, we all have the exact same 24 hours in a day, and it can be done. But I think a lot of times we have to let go. We have to let go of old patterns and behaviors, right, Genesis?
Exactly. Yep. And typically it takes 21 days to form a new habit. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight. You have to continue to implement these new processes and these new strategies. But that's okay, because that's all part of the journey, and you're learning as you go along the way. Every single day is a learning process, and you can look at yourself at the end of the day after the things that you've accomplished and you've written down your tasks. And as you can see, we go through a lot of different types of strategies to help them to be effective. But you can look at the end of the day and say, was this a successful day or not? Is there anything else that I can take out of my day that's taking away time from me being productive in the goals that I'm trying to set? So a lot of it's about action planning and putting in the proper steps in order to achieve certain goals. And then looking at a timeline and saying, when do I want to achieve this by? How much time do I have? Do I want to do this by next week, next month, next year? What does it look like for me? And, going back to talking about working with lots of different types of clients, everybody has their own goals. So you're taking that into consideration as you're creating an action plan for their life.
I like the action planning.
Absolutely.
Action planning. What are we getting done and getting it done? Because we don't have time to mess around.
Well, and speaking of not messing around and not having time, we're in our last 2 minutes of this interview. And Genesis, you are, for a limited time, offering a free 30-minute breakthrough strategy session for those who are ready to make some serious life changes. You normally charge $300 value on this, but you're going to go ahead and give this away. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And they can get plugged in through my website, genesisspeaks.com/gift. So they can get plugged in right there, and then they'll also receive a free life balance checklist. So they'll get that, and then they can also schedule themselves for that discovery session.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, genesisspeaks.com, genesisspeaks.com. And nothing to lose at this point. And the conversation is going to be valuable, and those checklists at all as well. You also have a podcast, Shine On Women, that features women entrepreneurs who do it all. They're on YouTube as well. Genesis, so excited to have you on the program with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. It was just such a fun time talking to you both. I've been following you for a while, and it's always really interesting, and you've got such a great sense of humor. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
See, Genesis thinks I'm funny.
She does. She says something like that. All right. So Genesis, it is the end of the year.
It's important to throw that in there, right?
You
got to have a little humor.
God bless you.
It is the end of the year. We're getting ready to put our calendar in for the next year. What would be the one thing you would say to moms to make sure that we take care of in 2018?
Well, for me, it's family, and I just absolutely love my kids, and I'm going to be actually due with my third child here in February. So I would say to prioritize your family above anything else, and we as mothers, we want to try to do it all, but at the end of the day, what is our greatest, most fulfilling role? And to me, my opinion is to be a mother and to put them first, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Adore you, Genesis. Thank you so much for your contribution today.
Thank you.
All right. That's Genesis Hay Crick. And I'll tell you what, super encouraging. GenesisSpeaks.com is the website. We'll be back right after these messages, folks. We're going to wrap this show up, put a bow on it. Stick around, will you? Angel and Eric helping you build your brand right here on the radio.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio.